Thanks for saying go.
You're welcome. I
That was
wanted to make
perfect.
sure you knew it was your time, you know?
That's right. Hey, welcome everyone. It's Don't Worry Wednesday.
Hey
We
guys.
made it. It's awesome. We're here. And it's Wednesday and you're not allowed to worry.
Yep. So stop it,
Stop
or I'll
it.
come over there and give you a spanking.
He will.
Okay,
You got to be
that's not what I'm
careful.
gonna do.
He's got these really bony fingers,
Yeah,
like
that's
that
actually
that
pretty
can
true. And
bang.
I've got rings on too, so that adds a little bit more to
Put some stank on the spank.
the. What? Wow, that's great. That's a
Yeah,
rhyme.
that was probably bad. But anyway, I'm lost.
Good. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. Don't worry about it. If you're lost,
Don't
that's
worry about
okay.
it. If you're lost,
We're
we'll
just
figure it
gonna get
out.
through this together.
It's gonna be great. You guys,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna fumble through this. Princess is actually not with us tonight. She is having some internet issues, and so we're just messaging back and forth, and it was like, okay, well, she might pop in if all things get fixed, and that would be great. And but if not, we're gonna muddle through the best we can. It's gonna be like Don't Muddle Monday, except we're gonna muddle. You remember we had
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
Muddle
yeah.
Monday? Yeah,
I do
and
remember that.
yeah, we're gonna be muddle through the show Monday, except it's
Yeah.
Wednesday, so
But
we'll
hopefully we
waddle
won't be
through it.
mumbling through our muddling
Right.
because we want them to understand our muddling clearly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. So, anyway, welcome everyone. It's Don't Worry Wednesday, the show where we handle any of your issues, challenges, thoughts, concerns, stuff you might be going through. We are not professional therapists, counselors, football players, or policemen, or yeah, any of that stuff. We just want to be your friend. We want to help in any way we possibly can to, show some love and support and encouragement, because we know 9.9 times out of 10, you guys are smart enough to figure this out on your own. You guys are all smart people, and, you could figure it out. But a lot of times it just helps to have a friend in your corner. It's so amazing. I am, blown away time and time again when I'm going through troubling times, as I still do, you know, when just to have friends around is so, so powerful. And, you know, so that's what we want to do for you guys. We might offer some perspective, and, hopefully we can help you with that. Sometimes when we're in the middle of things, we don't really have a clear picture of the whole thing. So someone outside of the whole picture can take a look and be like, oh, yeah, if you just go over here and turn left and right and boo-doo-doo-doo, you'll be fine, right? But, and we can't see that because we're looking at a wall, right? So sometimes that can be helpful. But either way, we're not a substitute for professional therapy or counseling or anything like that. And many times we've actually told people that might be a good idea to go see a counselor. I know
Hmm.
I've been through that. I've gone to see therapists multiple times, multiple different therapists, and each time it was beneficial and helpful. And yeah, I encourage it. If you're facing something that you really, really can't figure out, it might be helpful to go see somebody, and it might be worthwhile. So, anyway, but we love having you guys here.
Hmm.
And yeah, normally I would say Princess is she's our chat room hostess, and it looks like she's not tonight because of the internet issues. So we're going to do our best to host the chat room and host the show. With me is Ryan,
Hey yo,
aka Static the P.
the
And
P.
yep, he's amazing.
Well, I'm the P at least.
And we know this for sure. Like we do know one thing for sure. Actually, we figured this out right before the show started, because I told Ryan, I was like, "You're the best," and he's like, "You're second best."
Thanks, great.
And I was like,
That actually
"Yeah,
happened.
exactly. That's right. That's so right."
Of course, it's a joke, but it's just what. Sometimes you got to say the most unexpected thing.
You do.
He said you're the best. I was gonna say no, you're the best, but instead I was like, yeah, you're the second best. What kind of statement is that?
It was perfect because we both got a really good laugh out of it,
Yeah, that's
right before,
exactly. Yeah.
so it kind of sets a good tone for the show.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so how are you doing tonight, Ryan?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Yeah, you
Doing
look great.
fantastic. Um, Time of my life. No, it's every time it's the time of my life. So,
It is.
um, yeah,
The present is
I
the
can't
time
even
of
change
your
it.
life right now.
Yeah, exactly. So how you doing, man?
Yeah. I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I got rained on today. It was glorious.
I'm jealous.
I love being rained on. I
Yeah.
was out doing property inspections, and it was so hot. I mean, it's summertime in Michigan. It's been like really muggy and hot. You love it.
Yeah.
You just go outside and cook.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Steam.
don't get to cook outside because it's too muggy.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. And but then I had this vacant property, so I had to do like the walk around, and it started like dumping down rain.
Oh yeah.
When I first got there, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be perfect." So I just kind of like stood out there in the rain
Nice.
for a
Nice.
while. I
Yeah.
was like, that's so great.
When it's hot outside and it rains on you, it's awesome.
Hmm.
When it's cold outside and it rains on you, it's awful.
Yeah, it's not.
I hate that.
Yes, it is not. It is not as fun, especially like in the winter
Mm-hmm.
when it's just barely warm enough to be rain instead of snow.
Yeah, it's worse than snow by
That it is
far.
worse than snow because then you're cold
It's
and you're
like,
wet. It's
yeah.
usually windy.
Or if you're, yeah, well, when we were in Colorado, if that happened, it would like instantly turn into hail.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then it
Yeah, because
stings.
it didn't melt before it got to the ground, so it would be colder up there than it would be down here, and it just turned into hail, and it would just, yeah, that's not fun to be in.
Mm.
But it's it's exciting. It's exciting at least.
Mm-hmm.
And in that kind of case, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's really scary because you're driving your car and it's just like and you're like, my window's gonna break, something's gonna break. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. It's intense.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to go out there. It's been so many years since I've been to
Yeah.
Colorado. I want to
I
go
was
out
talking to
west.
someone the other day. They're from Colorado, and I was really excited because I was like, all right, I'm going over there. I'm gonna live with you. Um, it was a joke, obviously, but man, I love Colorado.
Mm. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Apparently, Baca says it's 67 degrees in Minnesota. That sounds about perfect to me. 67. Ooh, I would love it.
I'm loving this hot weather. I
You're loving the
love it in
hot.
the 90s and the 80s. Oh, that's my
Yeah,
jam.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I like to be comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
so between 75 and 85 is great.
Mm-hmm.
That's hot for a lot of people, but that's just how I do. I have zero body fat, so um, what am I gonna do? I can't stay warm, so I have to use
Yeah,
heaters and stuff,
you got to pack on layers, man.
blankets. I know, but no matter how much I eat, it doesn't change anything.
No, no, no. I'm talking about layers of clothing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You're right. I
I'm not
do.
saying layers of fat. I'm saying layers of clothing.
That's fair. Yeah. No.
That's the funniest thing. I've got friends and family members, in-laws, that sorry, I don't know if they're watching. Probably not. But anyway, I'm well. I'll just say I'm married to a gal. Actually, she likes to wear shorts and tank tops
Oh,
all year round.
all year round. What are you
Hmm.
nuts?
Yep.
What are you
And then
nuts?
it's funny because in the wintertime she talks about how cold it is, and I'm like, yep.
No. That's hilarious. But Jesse also likes to wear shorts all year round.
And sandals.
And sandals. And you know what? Hey, I get it. I like to wear pants all year round. I
Hmm.
wear long jeans all year round. I don't change. But I have an excuse. My excuse is two things. One, it's climate control. Um, Two, it's better fashion. I don't think shorts are very attractive most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I like pants, dresses, skirts. Those are cool.
Hmm.
Shorts, I don't know. I don't. It's hard to find shorts that I think are attractive.
Oh,
Not saying they can't exist. Just saying that in general, I think blue jeans look better.
yeah.
At least on me and my skinny butt.
Well, you shouldn't be showing your butt in your shorts
Yeah,
anyway.
well, okay, skinny leg, I should say.
That's funny. Speaking of legs, I got to hang out with my brother. My brother had surgery. He's doing really, really well.
Good.
He recovered very well, and we were talking. We were on a walk the other day, and we were talking. We're built a lot the same. We're brothers. We come from the same
Well, that's
line
weird.
of genetics.
Yeah.
And so I asked him. I was like, "Do you have a really short torso?" Which is a weird question to ask, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm all limb. I'm limmy," is what he said. I'm limmy, and it's so funny because he and I were talking about this. And I'm like, I think I am too, because anytime, like I'll be a normal height, I might be even taller than somebody standing up next to him, and then we'll sit down, and all of a sudden I'm 4 inches shorter.
Oh, never thought of that.
And sitting behind people like in church or something. And you're always
Mm-hmm.
got the big head person. Well, everybody's the big head person when you have a short torso because there's always,
I
there could.
remember a few people that were really long torsoed people.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, again, same kind of thing. You're standing next to them, you're maybe a little bit shorter for me, and then they sit down and they're like, "What are you, 9'2"? Are you so tall sitting down?" 9'4" maybe? Like what's
Yeah,
going on?
it's weird, but that's taken into account, and it's he was talking about that when he drives, with his wife, and how he's taller than she is when they're standing up together, but then when they're sitting in the truck, she's taller than he is.
That's funny.
And yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting, but
nice.
anyway,
All
yep,
right, so what do we say we do a show today?
we totally should. No, Static is not eating his clothes. um,
It should be.
yes, yes.
If my clothes keep me warm, then maybe what I need is more clothes on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Smooth brain.
Sole says, I just wear black cargo pants year round. I'm with you. I wear cargo pants year round as well, but they're
Mm-hmm.
usually khaki and not black ones. But I have
I
black
like
ones
cargo
and
pants.
gray ones. They're great, man.
Cargo pants look great.
Pockets, man.
I usually wear blue
Pockets.
jeans, but cargo pants are cool. See, here's the thing. Have you ever seen anybody walk through the desert, like in movies?
Yes, I've never
Right?
seen it in real life,
Yeah,
but
not in
in the
real life,
movies.
but in movies, right? And it's a pretty good, accurate portrayal of what people wear. They
Mm.
are wearing full, heavy clothing around their whole body, walking through the desert sun. And it's supposed to be very hot there. Why? Because that clothing protects their skin from the sun. It
Mm.
actually keeps them cooler. By
Mm.
wearing more clothes, they remain cooler because their skin is no longer being penetrated by the sun. The water that comes out of their skin isn't being immediately soaked up and moved away by the sun.
Right. It
It
goes into the
creates actually like a
clothing.
climate control.
Ah,
So
that's it, man. I'm wearing fleeces in the summer now.
yeah, more clothes. No, okay,
I'm
four
gonna
pairs
do
actually. Yeah,
it. Ryan needs to turn into a seal. Yes, Ryan, if you were a seal, you would handle Michigan winters
yeah,
exceptionally
or a
well.
penguin.
Except you wouldn't get around very fast.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of issues beyond just not getting around.
Plushy idea. The Ryan Sealwald. Yes.
Yes, Ryan
Yes.
Sealwald.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yep.
Ryan Sealwald. We're gonna do it.
But we also need Ryan Sweelad.
Sweet lad.
Mm-hmm. I
Mm-hmm.
like that one.
Sweet lad
If
and
my name would have been
Sealwald.
Sweelad, I would have been very happy.
That's great. All right. Well, yeah. Excuse me. We should do.
Excused.
We should do this show.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me get this fixed up. All right. We got. So I know. We have at least one person here with a topic. Our list may not quite be 100% up to date. If actually, we should just go to the website too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm gonna do.
We should have both. Both of them.
Both of them.
Yep. It is a word.
I guess.
It is a word.
As long as people know what you're trying to say, it's a word. That's really all that's needed for the definition of what a word is.
Yes. And Baka, I agree with you. Box plushie first. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Box plushie first. That needs to be a thing. Maybe we'll
agreed.
do that. We should do that for season 2.
Yeah,
The
I think
box plushie.
that was my plan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's so funny how the box became a character.
Yeah, I know.
That cracks me up.
Right.
So, all right. So I'm going to go through the list of names. And yeah, if you guys have any, oh, we never even said this. If you guys have any topics or anything you want us to talk about, feel free to post it in the chat. That's actually, if you want us to see it today, that's the best place to put it because it's just Ryan and I. We don't have Princess here with us. So go ahead and put it in the chat, or you can put it on our website, bss.studio. I don't have all the cool links that Princess has.
I'll put a link
but I
down
can
for
put
them.
this link actually.
Oh, you got it?
I got that link. That's our website. That's the page where you can put a topic for the live stream. You can send us an email, dww@bss.studio, and that will reach both Ryan and I. You can send us a message on Discord, and I don't have all of our information. Most of you guys that are in the chat right now, you have already DM'd me at least once on Discord. So, or Ryan.
Yep.
So
you can DM either of us.
Yep,
either.
Absolutely. And we will get those messages. But anyway, I'm going to go through the list of our backlog, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go from there. So we have Ian Lam, Pear, Ezekiel Games, Dracon, Lord Francium, LG, Toast, Anonymous, Meow, and Saule. And Saule, I know you're here.
Mm-hmm.
In your 105 million degrees in southern New Jersey. Yeah. Ooh.
That sounds awesome.
That's loud. That's loud. That's hot.
That's so loud.
That's loudly
the sun
hot.
is so loud.
It is.
Over there.
It burns and burns.
Actually, I will be honest, 105, that's pretty hot.
That is hot. Especially when you're not out west. Like out in the desert, 105 isn't so bad because it's dry.
Yes,
you know?
The dry is nice.
But 105 in the east, where it tends to be a little bit more muggy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Dry humidity is so much better. Sorry, dry heat is so much better than humid heat, for sure.
It is. It's hot and humid. Humidity makes it worse. I would agree with that. In fact, it was funny because after the rain today, we had this rain, and it was glorious, and then it stopped, and the sun comes out. And then you so watch the steam just rise up off the roads and off the fields, and it just, and you,
That's
and then
cool
you go outside, like, and it's oppressive. You
you can't breathe straight anymore.
Yeah,
you have to breathe crooked and stuff.
Oh my gosh, Ash! It was 115 in Oregon last week or 2 weeks, and you don't have AC.
Whoa. Dang.
Prayers for you, Ash. Oh, Ash Ride.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. But you survived. You survived.
Mm-hmm.
You have it now. Good. Hey, at least you have it now. So if it ever happens again, crank on that AC. It's going to be good. We are glad you're alive. So the only person I see here is Saule. We should do his topic first. What do you say?
Sounds great.
All right. Artificial workload, quality, and getting it done. So yeah, let me post a link here. Look at this. Look at, you guys see how much smoother things go in Princesses here? I mean, first of all, we'd have been halfway through our first topic by now.
It's true, but we wouldn't have covered so much about all the other topics that we talked about that weren't topics.
Yeah. Ash says at first it was like the first 2 minutes or two I was out there, it was nice. Then I just felt like I was melting. I totally agree with that. Like burning and melting, like I'd be like, that would be terrible. But all right, so we have this topic from Saule, and you can click the link right there and follow along, and I will read it. So this is called Artificial Workload, Quality, and Getting It Done. And it reads as follows. Hi, everyone. Sorry in advance for any bad writing. I was writing quickly and listening to Don't Worry Wednesday while writing. I've started a YouTube channel and have been doing weekly uploads since the beginning of the year. Nice. 2021, in case this is somehow put off till next year. LOL. I have once or twice during this journey, most notably earlier this week, I have felt like I can't edit my videos up to quality because I'm not in the right mood or just tired for 4 days straight. Nobody is telling me, you must get this done by this time. Do it now. I'm the one who is imposing the schedule on myself, and I'm doing it for myself. I normally edit my videos for Friday and the coming Monday on Monday or Tuesday, but this week on Monday, I was worried that I would not get it done in time for the Friday video to go up, just because I felt like I could not make content up to my quality standards. Like, what do I do if I don't come out of that slump like I did on Tuesday and get 2 videos done on Tuesday? Do I just try to get videos done at a lower quality, or are there suggestions to get work done better? In a way that may make this relatable to more people, how do you make sure that you get good work done at good quality and the right quantity when nobody is forcing you to do it, or even when someone is telling you to do it? And that is from Saule. And I must say, this is going to be a great topic because this is a challenge for me. Ryan has expressed to me that at some point in time he had this challenge.
Oh, yeah. This challenge continues.
This challenge continues.
Yeah, parts of it. Parts of it, but more so than others.
Mm-hmm. Hey, meow. Hey, Icy.
Hey.
So yeah, but this is going to be a great topic, and I'll try and put up a summary on there, so at least it'll be in the thing. But yeah, this is going to be good. I know that this is a challenge for me. I have just filmed a whole bunch of video footage that I need to now edit and make into a series of YouTube videos, and it seems like a daunting task. It really does. And when you're on a schedule, like you have, what was it? You've been doing weekly uploads. Okay. So, and that's really good to be on the schedule. One cool thing about YouTube, though, I will say this, is that even though you want to maintain that regular, consistent, if you can keep a weekly schedule going, that's great. But if you're a little late one week or whatever, it's not going to mess with your momentum too much. It seems like, from what I've learned from other YouTubers and kind of studying this kind of stuff. Yeah. So, but the real question, how do you make sure you get good work done at a good quality at a right quantity when nobody's forcing you, when you're just doing it yourself, and you got to be your own self-motivated person? That can be a real trick. So hopefully I've bought Ryan some time and he can say some really profound stuff that will help us all. So Ryan,
yeah, hopefully,
take it away.
Thanks, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As Joe was saying, this is an interesting and difficult topic. I think that hopefully, to one degree or another, we all end up facing at some point. So it's a great topic, even if this isn't something you're necessarily going through at this time. Eventually, you're going to have things that you're going to need to get done, and you might not be entirely motivated to do it, but you're doing it on your own time, and you know that it's something that you should be doing. I think that happens a lot in life. Whether it be, a variety of things, whether it be your own projects, whether it be, moving from one house to another, whether it be, getting better at cooking, whatever it is, right? There's all these things where we need to take time to do something that we know we should be doing, even if it's like exercise, right? And we are the only one in control. We're the only one that's telling us to do it. And we might not even be motivated at all times to do it, but we want to be committed. I think that doing this is really helpful because commitments, keeping down on your word, like saying, hey, I'm going to do this and doing it, even though it's going to be inconsequential if there's no consequence for not doing it, right? But you say, hey, I'm going to do it no matter what, right? Having commitments like that is really good for you as a human being. And it's something that we all have to practice. It's not something that we're good at by nature. It's something we have to practice, right? And the only way to practice it is just do it. Say, hey, I'm going to do it, even whether I like it or not, and then you do it, right? And that's called self-control as well, to have that as your standard is huge. It says a lot about your character, and it will make people like you a lot more, right? Your relationships are going to be a lot better, and they're going to be a lot easier to find respect from other people if you're the kind of person that says, I'm going to do something, and they do it, right? And you do it rather. So I think that that's one side of the topic. And the other side is how do you debate the quality? How do you get it done at a reasonable time and a good quality? And where do you sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
one or the other? You know, there's always that debate of quantity versus quality on YouTube. Um, what matters more, quantity or quality? And I think on YouTube, what over the many years, what people have found is neither and both, in the sense that if you only have quality but you don't have quantity, you can still make it as a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have quality but you have quantity, you can still make it as a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are many vloggers out there that were making it for pretty well. All they were doing is turning their phones on, recording, and then uploading that. There was no video editing whatsoever, right? um, so the point is not necessarily quality or quantity. It's more so if it's a question of like how to get big on YouTube, right? Quality and quantity are important, but what matters most is the fans, the people who are watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to entertain them, right? That's the point. The point isn't to upload a million videos that no one likes, right? And the point isn't to upload a huge project that took you years that no one likes. The point is to offer something somebody likes, right? To offer something that adds value into people's lives. I think that those are the things that people who go to YouTube or watch videos or watch a movie, we're seeking something valuable out of it. We're seeking entertainment, joy, maybe relaxation, could be a wide variety of things, right? But we're seeking something. And so we need to, as a YouTuber, a content creator, as an artist, as a musician, as anybody, you have to keep them in mind
Mm-hmm.
and put them in the forefront and say, what do they want? Right. And so this can help us lead us down that road, Saule, of of figuring out how to resolve the issue of like I don't have enough time or I don't have enough energy or whatever it is to make it both have a high quality and actually upload the video. Um, the question is this: who are you catering to? Because that will help give your answer. If you're catering to people who just want something to watch, like, have you ever gone to Facebook and you just start scrolling through the comments,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're not looking, your brain is on the idea that maybe there's something good in there, but there's not. like, like 1 out of 100 times there's something good on Facebook, but you just keep on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because your mind is entertained enough that there's something there for you to consume, right? Um, and so if your crowd that you're attracting is just people wanting to consume something on a weekly basis and that's what you're promising them, then that's what you need to do. You just upload the video whether it's great or not because that's what they want. They just want an interaction with you. It doesn't have to be a high value interaction. It just has to be an interaction, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Um, because a lot of times on YouTube, we get to sort of, in a way, meet the person behind the screen. We interact with them in one way or another through their content. And we tend to like some people's personalities and not others. We like the way some people talk and not others. When you upload a video on YouTube, you're presenting yourself in some way or another, right? And so people who just want to spend time with you are going to not care so much about the quality. What they want is you, not for you to put a ton of work into something and have a big massive headache and stress. They just want to interact with you, the person, right? And so spending time to just do that is important and far more valuable than trying to make a video perfect. Does that make sense? So if you're putting out videos and you find that the people who are interested in them are attracted to you, the creator, the person behind it, then don't worry so much about the quality, because they're just trying to get to know you, and quantity matters more in that category than quality, because the quality is already there. The quality is in the person that you are, right? So the quality will present itself. But on the other hand, right, maybe it's not so much the maybe it's a little bit of the person, because that's usually the way it is, but maybe it's not so much the person, but it is the content of what you're providing that provides them value. For example, if you're writing a song, right, or as a good example, you might want quality over quantity. If you're presenting a informational video, right, there's a lot of great informational channels out there, and some of them have like weekly or monthly videos. There's someone who's incredibly famous. He used to work for NASA. I forget his name right now, but you probably have all of you have probably seen his videos. And he does a video once every 3 months. But when you watch his videos, you can tell he's put a lot of thought into it. If you're making an informational video, you don't want to just submit the video when you're halfway through like an idea, right? You want to come to a conclusion and want it to be very full and understandable. So that's something where quality matters more than quantity, right? So those are the guidelines to help you figure this out, whether you should present with quantity or quality, right? And the last thing I can say on this is this. If you are working on a project and you're stuck between the two, and I've said this many times, so you've heard me say it before, but if you are being a perfectionist and you're like working on something and you're making minor tweaks over and over and over, it comes to a point where you have to realize, look, it would be more valuable for me to start a new project than for me to continue this one. It'd be more valuable to start working on my next piece of art or whatever it is, because this one, as it stands, is good enough to add value into people's lives, right? It's good enough that even if I keep on tweaking it here and there, there's no sense of perfection anyways. It's good enough for what I'm intending. And it'd be more suitable if I just start on the next thing so I can have another thing with another message that I'm trying to get across, right? So I hope that's helpful on that front, on the front of being able to identify when and how to work towards quality or towards quantity. I think both matter, right? But if you're spending so much time on quality that you have nothing to offer, like there are people who have worked on one song for a year and that's all they have, right? And they still don't ever plan to release it to anybody. It's like, well, that's an issue. I'm sure it's a great song, but that's a big issue, because now you're taking this and you could have released that like a year ago at this point, you know, and everybody would have gotten the same thing out of it. They wouldn't have known the changes that you made, but everybody would have gotten the same exact thing out of what you've just done, but you've spent a year on it instead of a month. So it's time to move on, right? And that's hard. That can be hard when you're not content with what you have. When you look at it and you go, it's not perfect. It's not the way I want it exactly. Oh, there's parts where I can make it better. You just have to recognize, like, yeah, but I could spend infinity on this, literally infinite time on this. And some people would like it more and some people would like it less, because it's all an opinion. And as a content creator, you have to notice that for yourself, Saule. You can put stuff out and you can make all these minor adjustments to make it better and better and better, but it's only making it better and better in your eyes. And it's only making it better and better in your eyes who are familiar with the video as it stands. What I mean by that is this. Have you ever watched a video where so many things happen in it that you have to pause it and replay it to look at all the different things happening in it? I know I've done that for some of the Criminal Idol stuff, right? You actually have to pause it and read or look at certain things, certain clues, right? That, like, enjoyment from that doesn't come from the first watch. It comes from watching it over and over and over, right? If someone watches it the first time through, they're just going to be confused and overwhelmed, right? And that's not good to do to somebody. That doesn't gain fans. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're making a video, right, there's going to be all of these things in your mind that you've been processing. When I'm making a song, I've heard the song a million times before anybody else has, and I've made hundreds and thousands of edits, right? But I know how it got from one place to another. I might have certain things in my brain that aren't even in the piece that make the piece better, but they're not even in the piece, right? Like an emotion or a thing I took out of it that has meaning to me, but I took out of it anyways, and it used to belong in a song, right? There are things like that that you have to watch out for. So my point of all of that is, don't get caught up in the video editing so much so that you're producing a product that is good for you, but not anybody else, right? Ultimately, what matters is that you are supplying your crowd or the people that are watching what you want to give them, right? What you're wanting to offer. So don't get caught up in the idea of, oh, it's not exactly how I like it, or it's not perfection, or all that kind of stuff, because it can't be anyways. And it's not for you, right? The video is not for you. In a way it is, but it's not. It's for other people, right? So don't get caught up in whether you like it or not. It's for other people. So just make it good where you're satisfied with it, but you're willing to release it, right? That's a lot of times that's kind of the point that you have to make. But as far as the other side of this topic goes, when no one's telling you to do it and being good at staying consistent and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to defer to Joe, because Joe is someone who's actually very good at this, I feel. And he might be surprised by that. But I think that
I am.
it's true. I think that it's true. And the fact that he might not believe that himself is also a testament to its truth, because he's very hard on himself. And that's why it's one of the reasons that he's good at it, right? People who don't know what humility is aren't going to be humble, but people who do know what humility is feel like they're not humble enough, right? And I think that applies here in this case as well. So I'm going to go over to Joe and see what he's got to say about it.
Wow, Ryan, I appreciate your kind words, because I look at you and I look at your, your release schedule that has been sometimes inconsistent, and then sometimes it's been consistent. So there have been times of both. And the cool thing is you've managed to, be fairly successful, with what you've done. And, with It's Not Like I Like You, with Criminal Idol, the different projects that a lot of times are what people first notice before they come here to Don't Worry Wednesday, or to the Discord channel or whatever. And it's really cool. So as far as being your own taskmaster, I've been self-employed for, oh my gosh, a long time. Going on a decade. Well, yeah, if you count, yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
I've had some sort of entrepreneurial venture going since about 2006 or 2000. Yeah, 2006.
Before I graduated.
Yeah, so I've had some kind of thing where you're your own boss. You have to. Now, in some cases, you're working with a group of people, and we can all kind of play off of each other. But here's the interesting thing. I have a personality type that isn't necessarily the most motivated to go get things done. Now I am task oriented at least, right? But I'm not really outgoing, go get them, type of person. I'm more reserved, and so I'll just sit and tinker. Uh, when I first started, going into the world of business and figuring things out, I was a band instrument repair technician, and it was funny. I was talking to a friend about this today. It's actually in the top. I believe it's in the top 5 lowest stress jobs in the United States. I think there. I
Wow.
think yeah,
And
because
it was stressful. No.
well, I'll tell you one thing. There is one thing, and I would agree with that statement. The job itself is very, very low stress. I mean, you're sitting there, and except for when you have a lot of stuff that comes in, you got to get a lot of things done and out. I mean, you can kind of get a little bit pressured there, but really, even still, people want quality work done on their instruments, and so they will understand if something takes a little bit longer because you really want to make sure it's precise. But when you're dealing in tiny precision mechanical things, and you're basically just tinkering, you're like tinkering with tiny little things. That the whole day was just me tinkering with stuff. Or I also got to do the tubas because I was the young guy, and so I got to hammer dents out of tubas. So sometimes I was like Thor, pounding on tuba bells with a hammer and boom,
Which is great
boom.
stress relief.
Oh, per is beautiful. Yep.
That's funny.
Yep. But there's when you're working with soft metal and you're trying to finesse dents out of it, there's some force and there's some finesse involved. And so
Hmm.
it was kind of a cool trade-off in there. But at any rate, I don't know where I was going with that. But except for the fact that I'm introverted and task oriented. So it was a great job for me because I would just sit by myself. I would have headphones on and I'd sit at my bench and I'd work on stuff. And it was great, you know, because I could just be by myself and be with my thoughts. And sometimes that's dangerous. So you got to make sure you have something to distract you, whether it's music or some kind of audio that can actually keep something positive going into your mind. Because sometimes, as most of you probably know, our minds can be our worst enemy. And Saule, this goes for you too. This goes for you in this question. Um, this is one of them silly INTJs. No, I'm an INFJ actually. Just so you know. But anyway, Saule. Oh, as far as critiquing my stuff, I ask the people who appear in the videos with me to give me any constructive criticism they have. I also make 2 to 5 thumbnail options and ask them to help me decide. That's great because
Yeah.
then you have a group, you have people working with you. We do that at Black Static and Swerve too. When we were putting together the book for Criminal Idol, I would work on a chapter and then I'd bring it to the group,
Hmm.
and then everybody would kind of put in their input. Oh, I like that. Oh, you think you could shift that? I like how you did that, but maybe do it different. That's pretty cool, except get rid of it.
The dark
Um,
pages.
what's that?
The
The
dark
oh
pages.
yes, it was always the dark pages. That everybody liked the dark pages.
Yeah, whenever that like the background was really dark, not like we were brooding, but it just looked pretty
It did.
because it was dark and yeah, in bright letters, and it was like, oh,
Yep,
everyone was
and
always
well,
like,
and the
whoa.
artwork pops out more too. Like
Yes, and the artwork pops out more, yeah.
yep. So it was pretty cool.
But that was just funny, anyways. Sorry.
Yep. So I make sure to take criticism well. I do have other issues occasionally with my scheduling. I can't make a video with only me in the recording. Sure. So you've got other people to deal with. You are getting into it, man. This is
Hmm.
really, really cool. And here's the thing I want you to remember because Ryan went through a whole bunch of stuff about, the importance of consistency and quality, quantity and quality, and, kind of the relationship between those. And that's key, to having a successful YouTube channel. But another thing that's key is just the fact that you're doing it. just the fact that you are doing it. And I hit goals, or I hit goals. I set goals all the time. I hit goals very seldomly. I did not say, hey, Google, but thank you.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
I know.
Wow.
Hey, Google, shut up. There.
Sure, I can do that. That's something I can do.
Perfect. So anyway, no, you're gonna keep doing stuff. Where was I at? Oh yeah, the fact that you're doing it is hugely important. I set goals all the time. I hit them very seldomly. I have in my future that I can see right now with projects that I'm currently working on and projects that I have scheduled out into the future. I have 4 that I'm actively kind of involved in, and another one that I'm kind of just helping out with in a way. And I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so good at biting off more than I can chew.
Yeah, buddy. Aren't we all, I think?
Oh my gosh. But it's funny because, so here's what I do. I kind of break it down and I'm like, okay, what's my close stuff that I got to get done right now? Okay. And I have a big whiteboard in my room and it says TOW on it. Tasks of the week. And so I will sit there on either Sunday night or Monday morning and I will just kind of think about, okay, I'll kind of mentally go through, okay, here are the projects I'm working on. What are the ones that are priorities? And in those, if I look at that project as a priority, what are the things that I would like to see done this week? And I'll just start putting them down. And I usually put, I don't know, anywhere between 7 and 10 things to do for the week. Those are the things I want to accomplish for the week. And then at the end of the week, I will look at how many of those things I crossed off that I got done. So throughout the week, I'll when I get one of them done, I'll cross it off. And when I get another one done, I'll cross that one off. And then when I get to the end of the week, I look at it and I'm like, all right, I got 2 things done out of the 10. Well, it's better than 0.
It's 2 more than you would have got done if you didn't write it down.
Yep, that's for sure. But so then I can make adjustments. So this is an interesting thing. So as we're talking about goal setting, this is a fluid thing for you to be doing. If you notice yourself consistently only getting 1 or 2 of your tasks of the week done, you might need to simplify the tasks a little bit. As a friend of mine, Jeff Moser, he's on staff at Black Static and Swerve. He and I have talked many times about, all right, we set these goals. And it's like, did we hit them? No. All right, well, let's lower it a little bit to see if we can hit it. Right? Let's lower the bar just a little bit. Now, I understand there are going to be people out there, never lower the bar on yourself. Always just throw your heart over the bar. Just get it done and blah, blah, blah. I understand in theory that's great. But if you set a goal that's too big and you hit it and you hit it and you hit it, like not as in achieve it, but you're like trying and trying and trying and trying and you never complete the goal, do you know how demoralizing that can be over time? And then you start looking at yourself like, oh man, I'm a piece of junk, I can't ever get anything done. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, you can really get yourself into a funk. At least I do when I set goals and I don't hit them. So what do? I adjust the goals and I make them simpler. So there are times, I'll be honest with you guys, there have been times when I'm working on music, I'm working on a song, and I just can't get myself to do it because it just seems like too big of a thing. I've got so many things that it's become this monster in my brain. I've got guitar tracks to record. I got drum tracks to record. I got lyrics to write. I got a bass part to figure out. I got to talk to the person I'm working on this with, and I got to get their parts. And then after all that's done, then I got to engineer it. And then after that's done, I got to master it. And I start thinking about the whole thing, and it turns into this big beast in my mind. So I will set a goal for myself. Turn on my computer. And then that's a win.
Dang, I'm good. Oh. Did you see me walk over there and press that button?
Man, I pressed it like a boss, man. You betcha. And then I'll have another goal for myself. Open up Cubase. Cubase is
a few more buttons. I did that. I'm freaking awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome, dude, though. It's true. It's true.
Yep. And so I'll open up Cubase, and then I'll make myself, and then here's key. I know this one will get me every time. Listen to the song in Cubase. So Cubase is the DAW. That's the digital audio workstation. That's the project thing, right? So
the program.
Yep, the program. So now if you're working on a video in a program and you're having trouble getting to this point, it sounds to me like you probably aren't to that point where you're that overwhelmed that you have to set that small of a goal in order to get yourself to get moving. But if I just listen to the song and an MP3 that I downloaded, that I exported previously, and I listen to it, that'll do a little bit, right? But if I listen to it in the project, then I'm looking at it go across and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I wanted to tweak that guitar part just a little bit. And so I open up the EQ and I start tweaking it. And then I'll tweak the volume on the snare drum, and then, different little things here and there. And before I know it, I'm in a flow of working on the song. And then before I know it, 2 hours goes by because I really can zone into this task, right? And I'm like, I just worked on this for 2 hours. And I'm not any closer to finishing than I was before, which is sometimes how it feels.
Oh, dude, don't say that. Jeez, Joe. I mean, you were on such a winning streak right there.
I know. But it's funny. But anyway, yeah. So it says, I'm not that overwhelmed yet. Maybe when I'm back at school. I understand. But I applaud you, Saule. Here's an interesting thing. You came to the Double Cup of Joe show a lot, Saule. There were a lot of mornings where it was me and Joe and you. And we had a blast. But I remember, so we didn't have like this massive audience and stuff like that. But you know what happened? We did it. We gained some experience. We figured out some stuff. We figured out stuff about lighting. We figured out stuff about pre-recording. We figured out a whole lot of different stuff, right? You did. Hey, Joe's
Joe.
here. Hey,
nice
welcome.
To see you, man.
Yep, Double Cup of Joe show. That was great. And yes, you were there a lot, and it was great to have you. But there's this, I don't remember what movie I saw this on. But there was a guy who was writing a blog, right? And he was writing this blog, and one of his classmates came up to him. He's like, "Are you still writing that blog? Only like 3 people ever read that thing." And he's like, "This blog is not about being read. It's about being written."
I remember that. I don't remember what movie that is either.
Yep. And so sometimes, oh, hi, Haley. Sometimes, we just start doing things in order to gain the experience. And then in gaining that experience, we learn to improve. And in learning to improve, we then learn to connect with our audience, as Ryan was talking about. We learn these things through making the adjustments. But if we strive to be if we strive for the highest level quality before we ever put anything out there, we really won't move forward very far. Sometimes we just have to start putting stuff out there. We got to that point on the Instrumentals album from A Single Duel. Steve and I, we were talking through some of the songs, and we're like, okay, we're setting a goal. We're going to release this album this year. And we did, December 31st.
Counts.
We made it. So, yeah. But what we had to do then was when we were getting to the point of saying, all right, we've got this much, we have to have it to the publisher by this date or else it's not going to be out this year. So we had a deadline there, and then we're like, okay, so that means mastering's going to take this amount of time, so we need to have the mix done by this date. We need to have we need to have the recording done by this date. December 31st at 11:59.
Heck yeah, right.
Kiribati time.
Kiribati time, yes. The last time possible in the time zones.
Yep. Yeah, funny thing. Soleil says, funny thing we do it to gain experience. Part of what motivated me to actually start the channel was because I wanted to develop skills. And who knows, it could help me get a job. Absolutely it could. Absolutely it could. And sometimes we just do that. But Steve and I talked about this, and we were like, you know what? We just got to get to the point where we're putting it out, whether it's perfect or not. He and I are both perfectionists. And we will find things we need to tweak on there. And I'm sure you're finding that, Soleil. I'm sure in your video creation, you're finding things in every release that you're like, oh, I could have done that a little bit better. I could have done that a little bit better. Maybe I should have spent a little extra time there. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because if you're releasing stuff every week, that's 52 things per year you're going to have out there. And if you miss a couple weeks, that's still like 50. But I find I improve much better. My quality improves much better when I have higher quantity of releasing. If I sit on something and try and make it high quality, and never release it, it might end up okay. But I find my quality level improves much, much more if I just do a once over on something, get it good enough, and then send it, and then move on to the next thing, and then take what I learned from that prior one, apply it to the next one, and then do the same thing again. Get it to where, okay, I'm comfortable here. Let's just get it out there and move on. And if you move on with a rate of speed, you get your speedometer up. I know you're a car guy. If you can get your speedometer up, your odometer, your level of, well, we'll just call that your level of quality. Your level of quality will improve much faster if you continue getting more and more content out. So, I don't know. Hopefully that's helpful. Ryan, did you have anything else?
No, I think that was really great, actually. I really like what you said there at the end, because it's so true. If you work really hard on something, I think that's great. But if you keep on working on many different things and just releasing them, you find your rate of growth is much higher and much faster. I know that's true for when I was writing music. Yeah, just like doing anything, right? The more you do it, the better you get. And if you spend too much time in just sulking over one area, you don't improve your other skills, and you rely on those other skills to build you in all your other skills. Like, it's kind of like trying to build a house. If you're trying to build a house, you lay your foundation first, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't lay your foundation, Your house is not going to stand because it's going to be on sand or rock or dirt or whatever, and it's just going to cave. So you have to build your foundation first. Let's say you're trying to build a house and you take a brick and you put it on the ground and you put another on top of that, another on top of that, another on top of that, another on top of that. And you build a house, but it's just a bunch of bricks right straight up. And then you go to the next inch over or half a foot over, and then you start building bricks straight up again next to that.
Mm-hmm.
That house has so many chances to fall over while you're building it. It's a disaster of an idea, right? The bricks aren't interlocking at all. They're just stacked next to each other. Like, and I don't know how you're planning it. You're going to use glue to stick them together. Like, I don't know what your plan is for building a house like that, but it's a bad idea. There's a reason people don't build houses like that, right? You build a foundation. You build it all in all of the area that you're going to put the house. And then you build on top of that. And those blocks are interlocking. I think that's a lot more similar to how we in our brain gain talent in any area. We don't become an amazing pianist by practicing one song over and over and over. We become an amazing pianist when we practice many different types of songs, including just fumbling around with scales or making our own ideas up or hearing a song and trying to play it without reading it. You become a great pianist through learning all of these different things. And what's interesting is often you learn many skills. Like, you can play a song and get really, like, okay, so yeah, I'm going to go with this example. You have one song and you play it on the piano and you get really good at it, right? You go to a different song and it's going to be terrible, right? But when you finally get good at that song, you'll go back to the first song and you'll realize so many things you could have done better. Because now your brain has expanded the different ideas that you can put into the first song, the different ways of striking the notes, how to hold them better, and all this kind of stuff, right? So the more areas you explore in a talent and not getting worked up over doing, like, just trying to make something perfect, the better you could have made that thing that you were trying to make perfect if you just moved on from it, you know? And it's really weird, but it's true. So just like Joe said, I think it's really important that you just keep going with it. Just keep on moving forward, going on to the next one, going on to the next one. Even if you don't complete it, you're gaining what you can out of the things the projects you are just saying, hey, it's good enough, and releasing. So yeah, I would say that might be your best course of method, or course of actions. I mean, is just, if you're worried about the quality, but you're trying to do something every week, I would try to stick to the commitment and just say, you know what, I'm going to release it. Even if it's not exactly to the quality I want it, I'm going to get as good as I can up until that point where it hits that deadline where I have to press send, you know, and whatever's finished is finished. But I will learn from that experience. I'll take more away from that experience than if I hold off an extra week just to work on this. It is absolutely true that you would gain way more just by moving on than trying to make that other thing perfect. It's just, yeah, take it from me and Joe. It is so true that you would.
Yeah, and truth be told, the flaws make the best stories. You know,
that's true.
you know, when we're talking about things and we're, you know, as we're reflecting on projects from before, it's like, man, I can't believe I left that, you know, that bad note in there. I can't believe I, you know, whatever. And those little things do make the best stories. And really, I'm sorry, Ryan, I totally cut you off.
No, I was done, so I'm glad you did.
Oh, perfect. See, I knew. I just knew these things.
Yeah. We're on the same wavelength. Don't worry about it.
But you're still the best.
Well, yeah, but you're still second best, so I have
still
to.
Second best.
You know.
Yeah. So anyway, those flaws make for the best stories. And if you're going to be on that constant release schedule, you know, your audience, they're probably not going to notice those little things. And especially early on when you don't have a big audience yet, who cares?
Well, honestly, when you do have a big audience and you make a big mistake, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, everybody in the audience cares, but the less weight you give it, the easier it is to just move on. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, who cares? Whatever. I'm gonna keep on being myself and living my life. Like, the heck?
Yeah. I mean, if we can learn to laugh at ourselves, things are a lot, they get to be
Yeah.
a lot easier. You know, when we take ourselves really seriously, it makes things a lot harder. You know, that's one of the reasons why, I've said this on the show before. I used to tell my kids, hey, what's your dad the best at? And, I got them programmed to say messing things up. And I'm like, yep, that's right.
That's it.
And, and it's because I would always take myself too seriously. Like for my whole life, I took myself too seriously. And I had to get comfortable with the fact that I would mess things up. And so
Mhm.
that was kind of part of that, where I was like, hey, you know what? I'm good at messing things up. The cool thing about messing things up is that's how we learn. You
Absolutely.
release something with a big old flaw in it, some misspelling or some kind of whatever, some bad edit or something like that. You throw something out there, you're going to learn from that. It might stick out like a sore thumb to you. But
Yeah,
if you can learn to laugh at it, you're going to learn from it and it's going to be great.
that's true.
So,
Yeah, Ethereal Swordsman says a perfect world has few stories worth telling. And I think that's very accurate.
mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So, thank you so much for the topic. I hope some of that helped you.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm proud of you. I gotta say, to
Yeah,
keep
me
up a
too.
weekly release schedule, that's
Yeah, that's impressive. That's hard.
that's a task.
Way to
And
go.
yep, and I'm gonna have to start watching some of your videos.
Yeah, me too. I was just I was like, hey, if you wanna leave a link to your YouTube channel, I don't know if actually
I don't think
YouTube will not allow you to.
yeah, YouTube won't allow you to, but you know what? You can DM it to me in Discord. My DM is
There you
open
go.
right now, so feel free to DM it to me in Discord, and I will post it in the chat, so then people can go to it. Um,
Perfect.
oh, it's RBT5 Gaming. Perfect. Well, if that's
So
what it
don't worry
is,
about misspellings. Here's the thing. Like, let me tell you this. Everything I put out from my channel has a misspelling on it, except for like a couple of videos. But like the first like 10 videos, every one of them had misspellings. That is an opportunity to let someone else know that they're smart. If someone's like comes along and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you misspelled this word," there's no reason to be embarrassed about that. You just go to them in the comment section and you write, "Oh, thank you so much. I'll make sure to correct that next time." And you make that person feel like $100
mm-hmm.
because it doesn't mean any less on you. English is ridiculous.
Wait a
All
minute.
right.
You said weekly uploads, Soleil. I'm seeing daily.
Is it daily or
I'm
weekly?
seeing 5 days ago, 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago.
Whoa. Are you putting
Hey,
out daily? That'd be insane.
that's pretty cool. English is hard.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, daily over the holiday weekend. Gotcha. Okay.
Ah.
All right.
Cool.
Cool. Well, thank you. And
Yeah.
yep. So anyone who wants to go, I just subscribed. Yeah, you can click the link and go subscribe.
I'm gonna make
Soleil's
sure that I
awesome.
click that link so I can watch some after Don't Worry Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. And hey, you even DM'd it to me. Thank you. You rock. Hey, Princess has internet. Look at that.
Congratulations.
Does that mean you're gonna join us, Princess? Are you gonna join us in voice too? I mean, it would be cool. You can just join us in the chat. That would work too. It's whatever. It's
Either
up to
one
you.
is fine.
Either one is great.
There she is.
Does
It's
it
the
work?
ding dong.
Yep.
Hey, Princess.
Yay!
Ah, your voice is great to
Welcome.
hear. Thank you. Yes. So everybody, welcome Princess. Princess is awesome.
Welcome.
Now the show can get on track.
That's great.
Because we've done one topic and it's 9:22.
Let's do another.
Let's do
1
another
hour,
topic.
1 hour topics.
Yeah, man. But it was important,
That's good.
wasn't it?
You're important.
You're important.
Oh, what? Oh, just don't
I'm
even start with
second
me.
important.
I will love you so hard. Whatever that means. You won't even
Oh,
remember
man.
tomorrow. I don't even know what that part means either.
All right, so we've got Ash Ride looks like submitted a topic. We also, I see Meow, you're here. You have a topic from before, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we took an hour and 20 minutes to do one topic. Well, no, it wasn't an hour and 20 minutes. We talked for what, 40?
Seriously?
I certainly hope not.
we talked for a while.
Oh boy.
I don't think it was that long though. Don't be that disappointed, Princess.
Princess, do you see how critical you are to this show now?
I'm sure you guys didn't spend exactly that long.
No,
Oh,
it
it
was
was a
more
while.
like 41. So that's
Wow,
a little
thanks
better.
for shaking
No,
the faith there, Brad.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right.
So we have one from Meow and we have one from Ash.
Okay.
Ash's is from today.
Okay. So Meows came first. So let's do Meows first. Let's see. I have a link. And Princess is getting all of her stuff together.
Have a good one, Raka. Enjoy working on music.
Yeah. Oh, and you still got the link before me? Man.
That's really not a surprise.
No, it's not. It's not, but you know what? I'm still going to post it just because.
Thank you for the verification. Always
Yeah.
appreciated, Joe.
Yes, you're welcome. I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
I'll write up a thing as we go because there's
Okay.
one in there. So
Cool. So this is from Meow. It's called Some Thoughts on Experiences. And Princess, take it away.
many experiences only last for a short period of time. Many times you look forward to these experiences for a while or even prepare for them. However, these experiences end, and that's that. When you look forward to something for a while, you want to get the best experience. How do you get the best impact, enjoyment, memory, and stuff out of these experiences? I hope this makes sense. Thanks, Meow.
That is a good question.
That's a new one.
Because it's true. Our experiences, we anticipate them, they happen, and they come to a close. It's in all of them. And so if the question is how to get the best out of each experience, oh man, I can think of nobody better than Ryan to talk about this because
I don't know about that.
I do.
Oh, thanks, Finn. Thanks for knowing me.
Because yeah, I mean, how do you pull the richness out of an experience? How do you let yourself experience it to the fullest so you can grab the most memorable moment out of it? Because see, a lot of times life goes, we go through our lives and there's a lot of mundane in there too, right? There's a lot of just blah, blah, blah. I stopped to get gas, I had to go pay somebody money, and whatever. I stopped to get a coffee or, all kinds of whatever. But then we have the big experiences. And sometimes the experiences are fearful. And
yeah, they are.
And sometimes they're a surprise, and sometimes we plan them. But yeah, I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say on this, Ryan. So
well,
I'm not going to buy you much time.
Thanks. No, it's all right. I have one idea for this right off the bat. I think the number one important thing here is this attitude. Attitude is huge. Attitude and perception, I think, right? Perception is a big proponent to attitude anyways, or component, sure, both of them. If you are entering into anything in life, whether it's something that you don't want to do or something you do want to do, something that you've been anticipating for a long time, and just like you said, Meow, it's it's fleeting, right? Everything that happens in life is so fleeting, and you want to take in every bit that it has to offer, and you want to remember, and you want it to last beyond the experience. And I think we all do that, but we can get a lot of bad out of something good if our attitude is in the wrong place. And that can linger too, can it not?
Mhm.
Right? We know we've all experienced bad situations just lingering in our life for a long, long time, right? But we also have those good things. Do those good things linger in your life? Do they haunt you with goodness? If they don't, then that means your brain is fixated on negative things, right? Your brain is currently programmed to seek out that which is negative, right? But if you can reprogram your brain, and that's through action, through repetitive habits, right? Creating new habits by doing something over and over. If you can program your brain to seek out the good in other people and experiences, etc., those memories of good things will last longer, and the memory of bad things will last shorter. Because you're fine tuning your brain to make that happen, right? So, as far as reaping the most out of a scenario, I think at first that's attitude. And then, secondly, to keep that going is a habit of perception, a habit of being drawn to the positive and to those beautiful experiences and dwelling on them and making them important in your life, rather than getting carried away with making the bad things important in your life. I think we often do that. The things that haunt us in a bad way that we don't like, right? We make those the big things in our lives. We focus on those, and we go, yeah, that's the problem I got to solve next. That's the thing I don't like and I need to change. That's the thing that's weighing me down and keeping me from being a good person. That's the thing that's, we say all these things and we mean them and they're true, but they're only true because we are so focused on them.
Mm.
I think if we can say, and I don't mean to just preach like positivity, but the truth is, in reality, your brain is going to fixate on something. And if it's fixating on those things which keep on pulling you down, you're only ever going to feel pulled down. But if you fixate and make a big deal out of, and you celebrate inside and out those things that are good, those things will become even more good in your life. They will persist in the way that you see the world, and those experiences will continue to develop. Even though they have already gone in past, they will continue in your life as good things that continue to just build you up, right? So I think for starters, right, attitude and perception, I think those are the main things. It's hard for me too, Miyamoto, because there's two things that work against me in this field. The first one is my personality. My personality, I'm not a overly emotional person. I can get caught up in the emotion of something every once in a while. I can get excited about certain things, for sure. But there are many people who are different personality type, who are outgoing, and they seem to experience things at a whole different level that I could never experience them. Something happens, even joyfully, and they start to cry, right? And I go, wow, that's amazing that they can feel that moment so intensely that it causes their body to erupt. It causes their body to almost fold over or break down and cry. There are certain things in my life that can do that. This is I guess it's a little personal, but it's weird. When something's really overwhelmingly cute, my body will sort of want to like collapse, seize up and fall over, you know? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Like, what do I do? You know, my whole body starts to react with joy, you know? But you know, it's a bodily reaction out of an emotion, right? When someone cries from sorrow or from joy, it's the same thing. When someone brightens up with a smile on their face or they're pouty or whatever, right? We can see the experience. So if you want to experience something more fully, get your body involved. Get your body involved and you will feel the emotion better. There is something to reverence that often our society doesn't make room for. In the ancient world, ancient world, sure, I'll go with that. In the ancient world, we used to be more reverent with our bodies. And what I mean by that is you would see someone that would come into the room and we would have respect for them. And the way we would display respect is with our bodies. We would kneel before them, bow to them, or whatever it be, right? We would remain quiet and kept rather than blurting out, right? Our bodies would conform to the scenario. And that more fully made our minds feel that. You know, there are many times in life where, like, let's say you're sad, but you don't want to be sad. Well, just start smiling. And soon enough, you'll find yourself at least a little bit more happy, right? It's true. And your emotions do somewhat conform to your body. So what I would say is if you want to experience something, you know it's going to be short-lived. You know it's going to come and it's going to go, and you want to make more full of that scenario, get your body involved. Get your body involved in it. Whether that be prostrating yourself on the ground to pray. But that means lay flat on the ground with your face on the ground, right? In case you didn't know the term. If you really want to like get into it and feel the experience, show that sense of reverence or sense of joy or whatever it is with your body, because your emotions will follow after it. It will follow in suit. And physical things tend to have a certain link to our memory anyways, right? You experience certain physical things like, for example, bare feet in wet sand on the beach, the water rushing over your feet. Every once in a while it pulls back and then pulls back, pulls over you, pulls back. You feel your feet go sink into the sand as the water flows backwards, as the sand is just slightly crushing and moving under your feet. That's a bodily experience, but it's an emotional one too. And so that's why I say get your body involved, and that should help too. The other thing I was going to say that works against me is there are times where I know I can't appreciate something as much as someone wants me to. And that's really hard on me because like I don't have the emotional capacity, or I just know that for some reason whatsoever, maybe I do have the emotional capacity, but it's not there, right? A lot of times I experience that when people give me gifts, right? And me and Princess have had discussions about this, but when someone gives me a gift, I'm like, that's amazing. They're showing their love to me, you know, for friendship love, like, hey, I got this for you. And I want to feel like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. But if I reacted like that, it would feel like a lie, because I know really what I'm experiencing is, wow, this person is so kind and that's such a nice thing for them. But my emotions aren't there for that. Like I have zero emotions about that. Like, thanks, I appreciate it, and it's so cool, but I feel like I'm being a letdown right now because I'm not exploding with joy, right? When I know that maybe that's what they want, or because they want me to feel loved, right? And I can't physically explain that I'm feeling loved, or I feel like I'm not being loved in the way that they're trying to present it to me, right? And so it's a very difficult thing for me because it's this juggling, this battle that's just between me and me. While someone's trying to give me something, and I have this huge inner dialogue with myself, and I'm like fighting myself because someone's giving me a gift, right? And that's wild, right? Um, that's silly. That's silly. Um, and in those situations, I think one, I just let the person know. Obviously, I'm very, very grateful. Um, and I think the best thing for me to do in those scenarios is just show my thanks the best I can. I'm I might not have that love language, right? But obviously I still appreciate it. And so I can try my best, right? And that's all I can do, right? That's all I can do anyways, is try my best. So in those scenarios, if that's something that you've ever fallen into, I don't have the exact answer for that, but just try your best to not get caught up in your own self and that battle, and just take that time to be caught up in them and say, "Wow, you're so awesome. Let's go do something, or let's have fun with this together. Let's go play it, or whatever it is. Some if it's a game that they bought you, or if it's a toy, or whatever it is, appreciate it with them, and them then and there, hopefully. And I think that's really the best you can do, because there are certain things in our lives where we're not going to get emotionally charged about, and that's just that. But life isn't all about emotion anyways, so um, that's okay. But anyways, I hope that was helpful. Um, and yeah, it's a very interesting topic. um, but yeah, I'm excited to see what Joe's got to say about this. Because I've outcovered anything I could possibly think of.
You covered it well, man. I was like, he's not going to leave me anything to talk about, is he?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Talk about why he said
okay.
the word "for" in there.
We
so
do have an update in the chat.
Okay, good.
Another part of my topic is wanting certain experiences to have an impact that lasts beyond that moment. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so then they become memories for us, right? So they become memories, impactful memories. And there's a couple things. I mean, I would go along with everything Ryan just talked about: attitude, perception, being there, like sharing it with other people. Like all these different things can add to the impact of a moment, and how this experience can really affect us. But a couple things that I try to remember is one, to try and remember to approach it with a sense of wonder. When you're going into an experience, and specifically, I reread through your topic, Meow, and you said you look forward to something for a while. You want to get the best experience. How do you get the best impact, enjoyment, memory, and stuff out of these experiences? So it's something that you've anticipated. It's something you're looking forward to. And then when you get there, allow yourself to look at it with wonder, like a child. You know what I mean? What? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as you're experiencing this, just kind of be in awe. And that goes right along with attitude and perception. I mean, this is a new thing. I think in the chat, Meow, you talked about seeing a movie for the first time, and how that, that's a new experience. Yet these experiences also include things like seeing a movie for the first time. You only have that first time experience once. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And then after that, it's never your first time anymore. Now, it can be fun, and you can get that same amount of enjoyment out of subsequent movies, maybe even more enjoyment out of subsequent movies, depending on, have you ever had an experience, the first experience where you did something and it was a bad experience? And it was like all kinds of wrong things happened, and people yelled at you and were mean to you.
Yeah.
And all kinds of stuff.
That's a lot of bad memories about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But so now you've got a bad taste in your mouth about this experience, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is bad. And then somebody is like, what? Are you kidding me? That's the most fun thing to do ever. Let's go do it again. You come with me. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Last time this guy yelled at me, and I almost got punched.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I bet that.
Yep. But then you go with your friend, and maybe that redeems the experience. And so now you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. Now it's kind of like you're having another first experience, right? Because now you're seeing it in a whole new light. But one thing, as you're experiencing these things, as you're in there, take a moment once in a while to just allow yourself to have wonder wash over you. And be like, oh my gosh, I'm here. And I'm usually kind of nervous for new experiences. A lot of times it helps me to have a close friend or something with me, so I can kind of, because new experiences are kind of scary. But I'm also a person who I try to be principled, and I try to do what I say I'm going to do. And so, if I say I'm going to do something, I try to do it. I try to be there. And sometimes that leads to me going all by myself into a new experience that is crazy, that I never even imagined would be what it was. And one of those experiences I'm going to share with you guys was I got invited by an associate pastor of a small church to visit his church. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought about bringing my my wife, and we only had one child at the time. And she was like, I don't want to do that. It seems weird to me. I'll let you go first, And I'm like, okay. So I go to this church, and it was Inner City Baptist Church. And, it was an interesting experience. I had never been to an inner city urban Baptist church before. And I'll tell you, it was an experience. First of all, I had the least amount of melanin in my skin when I walked in there. I was the only person with this particular skin tone. Now, just so you know, I detest racism. I cannot stand it. I think to judge somebody based on skin color is one of the most ridiculous and wrong things that we can do. Because you don't have a choice on that, right? Like, you're born how you are, and it doesn't matter. Like, your character is what's important. But I will tell you this. There is, there's a societal thing going on with skin color, right? And so I'm the only person with my skin color that goes into this place, right? And everybody's kind of looking at me. And I'm like, whoa. That's my first approach, right? And so then my friend, the associate pastor guy, he was there, and so he was really quick to get me in and introduce me to the main pastor and stuff, and shook his hand and everything. And I was Brother Joe. Brother Joe, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And all this stuff, and it was great. And then it was like a funk rock paradise church service, man. I mean, it was crazy. The pastor was up there just and the band was behind him and like emphasizing his words and stuff. It was like this big thing. He's like, and God was amazing, and he separates the wheat from the tares, and all this stuff.
That's amazing.
It was this incredible experience, and everybody's up and dancing, and then he gets to this big climax in his sermon, and he's screaming and yelling and everything, and he's this huge guy, right? Huge, tall, and huge. And and then he got to the end of his thing, and then the band just goes crazy for like 10 minutes, and everybody's just dancing around, right? And it was so great. Like I'm sitting there, and then, man, I'll tell you, and he singled me out in his sermon a few times, and he was like, there are people I know that wouldn't want Brother Joe in their church service. But I'm telling you what, Brother Joe, if you're looking for a closer walk with the Spirit, look no further. This is the place for you. It was great. But anyway,
that's awesome.
But I was so freaked out.
I can imagine, especially being melancholic, reserved. go in there, you're like, oh, okay.
Man, I got more hugs from ladies in big hats than I've ever gotten before in my life. I got more invitations to barbecues. I'll tell you what, but and I appreciated that because like they wanted me to feel welcome. At first it was uncomfortable. Like whoa, this is a new experience. We don't have a white boy coming in here very often, right? And he came in by himself, and apparently he knows one of the pastors, right? But at any rate, this experience, I will never ever forget it for the rest of my life. Obviously, it was amazing, and I never went back to that church. I only went once, and I had heard later on that it had shut down. They were meeting actually in an old middle school that wasn't being used anymore. It was just a building that was empty, and it used to be a middle school, and so they were using it, this one area for church services, and then it dwindled and it went away. But I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that moment. And it's easy to look around and be in awe and wonder when you're in an experience like that, right? Because it's like, what is going on? I've never been in a place like this before. Tara says, Joe, you wouldn't believe what a Navajo res service is like. I imagine. Yep. So, but what I'm trying to encourage you to do, Meow, is you can do that with all your new experiences. You can do that with old experiences. You can do that with moments. Sometimes when I get to hang out with my kids and I'm like, you know what? I'll just sit there and look at them. And imagine, I'll remember them being young. I'll remember them being little babies, and I'll think, wow, this is a moment right here. This, and I'll just let the moment wash over me. And I'll have this sense of wonder. And like Ryan was talking about, it'll make me cry sometimes. And it's like, and then I look like an old softy and like, Dad, what you crying about? And it's like, just, how you get something in your nose and it makes you tear up,
Can you just be honest? Be a man.
Be a man.
Cry
be honest. I know. I cry a
Sorry,
lot.
mosquito
Honestly,
bit me in
dude.
the arm.
It's crazy. It's too bad. But anyway, so do that. The next thing I can do, if you want to cement these memories into your head, get into a habit of reflection before you go to bed. Reflect over your day. And not just when you have a day where you have a big memorable experience. Do this every day. Reflect over your day. And you know what I think you'll find is even in the mundane day-to-day, here we are, like maybe you just have a day that's a normal, regular day. Nothing really special happened, it seems like. When you look back over that day, you're going to see things that you're thankful for. You're going to see things that, I did that pretty good today. You're going to see other things where it's like, I could have done better on that. And, tomorrow, if I experience this again, I'll try to do better. You will grow as a result of this practice. And then when you do have those days where you have memorable experiences, that reflection at the end of the day will just, it cements it in place. The day I went to that church, I sat and thought about that a lot. I sat afterward, partly because it was so unreal to me. Like the whole thing just blew my mind and I couldn't stop thinking about it. But at the end of the day, to reflect and to think, maybe you go to an amusement park and you just think, oh man, remember we rode that ride and then we got sick and so we ate some ice cream because FYI, if you get roller coaster sick, the cure is ice cream, just in case you were wondering. Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite.
Nope. If you've been riding roller coasters a lot throughout a day and you start to, and you're just like, oh,
yeah,
Yep. The cure is ice cream.
Okay.
Um, Try it.
All right. Well, I hope I get to ride a roller coaster someday soon. I
Yeah.
haven't ridden one forever.
The park likes to make you think it's funnel cake, but Joe knows. Yes, Joe knows. Ice cream.
Yeah.
Um,
The funnel cake smells amazing.
they do. But anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Ryan, did you have anything else?
Um, I just wanted to talk about the sense of wonder. Um, Joe, you touched on this. Mialado said touched on this as well in his comment. Wonder is just huge. Give in to wonder. Give into your wonder. It will make for the experience to be, bigger and brighter. There's a phrase, I can't quite remember it, but I can sum it up with just wonder over fear. I think there was a song I wrote that title, but wonder over fear. Whenever you're afraid, you can turn that fear into wonder. Right? Usually when you're afraid of something, it's a what if, But you can take that and go, I wonder. You can switch it around, And I think that it gives our perception and attitude a better thing to go off of into that scenario, right? If we're really afraid to do something, right? We're afraid to get into something because we know it's a big deal and we don't want to let people down, or we don't want the change to happen, or maybe we're anxious about how people will think of us. You flip that around and you say, I wonder. It changes everything. You can be like, I wonder what's going to happen if I do this. Maybe this will happen. Maybe that will happen, or hey, maybe I'll lose all my friends, but that's an interesting thing. Like, I want to see the development happen. I wonder is a way better phrase for your brain than I'm afraid of. Even though they're ultimately the same, one causes forward motion and you can give into it and enjoy the experience. The other one causes you to backwards motion, right? It's like, hey, you start backing off from it. So flip your fear to wonder. I have so many fond memories of playing a game called Ragnarok Online, right? And I've talked about Ragnarok Online on the show many times, right? But that just gives you an idea of how much I have. So many memories. I have so many people that I met and experiences that I had with them. They're nostalgic. If I hear some of the music, it will make me want to cry, but it's not out of pain. It's out of a joy that once was. And I was thinking about this one day, I was like experiencing this nostalgia and I was like, man, if I feel like this over just this game, right? I need to do more in life, right? I need to go out and have more memories. Because it hit me while I was thinking about it one day. I was like, I'm having nostalgia because it feels like this is a world, right? This game, I was in it. I played with tons of people, had a lot of great conversations, a lot of great friends, so many things I won't remember. But it's like I was in a world I'll never be able to go back to, with friends I will never get to meet again, right? But it made me think, when I die, on the day that I die, or many years after so, and I think about my life back on Earth, will I be nostalgic? Will I be thinking, man, those are some good times? If not, then I better start working towards that. I hope that when I'm in heaven, my life on Earth brings me nostalgia. I hope that I can make this life so beautiful that that's my emotion in heaven. But that only comes if I invest myself in this world with a sense of wonder. If I live my life in fear, ain't nobody ever had nostalgia over fear. No one's ever looked at a fearful situation and felt nostalgia. Nostalgia comes from wonder. It comes from when you've explored the wonder and you've had good memories. So try to keep your mind on that. And that's what I'll end with.
That's beautiful. You know, even our bad experiences they can be redeemed. You know, even things that we feel negatively about.
That's so true.
So if you have an experience, and if you have an experience and it's painful, or maybe you have a whole series of events and they're painful, or maybe you just kind of have this whole period of your life and it seems like it's just racked with painful, it can be redeemed. It can be used for good. There is good that comes out of evil. That's the reason that evil things exist. I know this isn't really part of the question, but sometimes we experience things. Sometimes we anticipate something. Sometimes we anticipate something that's supposed to be really, really good, and it turns out to really, really be crummy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so even those moments, we can experience the wonder. We can approach it with a good attitude. We can perceive it properly, as even if it causes us pain, it can be useful. If only for the fact that it's an experience that helps us to relate to other people who are having painful experiences. Because sometimes we're being built for something. And our experiences build us. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I work out. And so I know it's going to cause me pain on a regular basis. But you know what? I grow through it in some areas, and I shrink in other areas, actually.
There you go. That's true.
But I just want to encourage you, because I know sometimes we have times when it's hard. And sometimes we have times when we think it's going to be great and it turns out to really stink. But if you can still do like what Ryan said and approach it with a good attitude, or at least the best attitude you can possibly muster in the face of things, because sometimes that's hard, but you know, you just do the best you can, you know, and try and remember in the back of your head that something good can come out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't necessarily always see it, but something good can come from it. And that can go a long way. And then in your reflections at the end of the day, when you're going over this and you're wondering, how is this even going to be useful? You can start to use your imagination and think, actually, this is useful here, and I learned something here. And or sometimes you're like, okay, I've been here before, where I have a series of events that are really hard. And I'm like, well, okay, I know this is going to happen again. So today I tried this. And how did that work out for me? Well, it didn't work out all that great. Okay, next time I'm going to try a different approach. I'm going to try this thing. And so then I'll do that and I'll see, okay, how did that work? Well, it was funny, but it still didn't turn out all that great, you know? So but anyway, I just wanted to encourage you that yes, even those experiences that seem negative can be good with this same approach. So anyway, Meow, thank you so much for your topic. I hope some of that makes sense. I hope some of that's helpful. It was really great to talk about this, because this, like Ryan was saying, this is something we haven't seen before. And it was cool to expound on this and work through it. So I really appreciate it. Saule, thank you for your topic as well. Ash, thank you for submitting your topic. But unfortunately, it's the end of the show. Oh, hi, Vanna. I love you too. So yeah, but come back on Wednesday and we'll do your topic. So it's been great to see you. It's been great to have you back, and all you guys. It was wonderful to have you on the show, Princess. It was so great that you joined us. I was.
I'm glad I can make it, even if it was just for the last half.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad your internet got fixed. It stinks to be without internet. And I'm always thankful for Ryan because he's the best, and I'm the second
Yep.
best.
That's right.
Ryan's the best. We all know it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yep.
Which is weird. If you think that there's someone better out there, well, you're probably right. But right now, I'm the best. So
Right now, I'm gonna have my moment of
this
being
is my
the best.
15 seconds of best right here.
You've had the best. You've had best status for the last 2 hours.
Hey, just a bunch of 15 seconds in a row. Like, stop raining on my parade over here.
Oh, that's awesome. But anyway, yes. So Ash, yes, please come back. No, it's fine. Hey, life happens. But thank you guys all for being here. I had a great time. I think Ryan had a great time. I had
Oh,
a great
yeah.
time with him.
Thanks,
And
guys.
Yes.
We love you.
Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. Until then,
Mhm.
be awesome. You guys are amazing. Every one
And
of you.
thank you again, everyone. We couldn't have the show without your support.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To be sure.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye. Peace.
Bye.
Next time.